Yeah, Shalom Israel.
Yeah, sure.
We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. We've been teaching the truth about the Bible since 1969, that the blacks, Native Indians, and Hispanics are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right. I am Priest Officer Maikwa. Today I'll be sitting in for our camp leader, Priest Officer Galawan. All right. He's the head of the Trinidad and Tobago camp. Right. Before I go into the class, right, I'd just like to remind everyone online, all right, we the scripture breakdown classes starts from 12 noon, right, till 2 p.m. on a Sunday, right, and also we have the Sabbath service on a Saturday from 10 a.m. Right. The Sabbath service is conducted by Priest Officer Yakad, Priest Officer Swapiala, and from time to time you may see other brothers conduct the Sabbath service as well. All right. So you're gonna get straight into the class, right? And the topic today is the black man's identity is written in the Bible, all right? And the Bible has been written by men inspired by the Most High, all right? And over thousands of years, right? And even coming right up straight to today, right? Many of these prophecies are coming to pass, right? We see many changes in the world today, right? And the Bible still continues to remain relevant on the bookshelves, right? The things that we see happening all over the world, right? The Bible still proves to be accurate, right? And the Bible, as we see it, right, as many people see it in the Christian churches, is not a religious book, right? The Bible is a history book, right, for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, right? So these churches, a lot of these churches, which started out of Christianity, all right, and Christian doctrine, right, hold this as a religious authority, right? But the Most High is bringing it in such a way where he is completely flipping the table, right? And now we get to see that the Christian church does not know what they are talking about, right? They do not understand the Bible, and we are seeing many of the Christian leaders falling apart today, right? And thank God for the I.S.U.P.K under Command GEN.YAHANNA, right? Command GEN.YAHANNA, right? Standing up, right, and continuing from the the leaders from since 1969 coming all down, right, through the years, right, and then the generals picked up under him, following command in GEN.YAHANNA, and they have proven and stuck with it even till today, so that we young men, young officers in the truth, is able to understand and to learn our true history, our heritage, right, and who we are in the Bible, right? So today we're going to go in a little bit of who we are in the Bible and get some context and some understanding about the Black man's history, the Native Indian man's history, and the Hispanic man's history, which is written in the Bible, right? So the first scripture, if it could, Babakisha, anybody who gets it, I will start from Zephaniah 2 and verse 1, Babakisha. Thousands of years ago, right, and today, right, it is still warning the Black man and the Black man's generation, right, about the things that could be befall them in these days, right, in these last days, right. And when we look at the things that are going on in the world now, right, you could see that just as Commander General has said it, we are in the beginning of World War III, right? Right? You're seeing, you're hearing about the rumors of wars, and now we see actual wars, right? Now, and not only the war in Ukraine, right? They even have war all down in Africa, right? They now fighting the oppressor, the so-called white man. So they're fighting their own wars down there, right? And the oppressor even fighting against himself, right? So you could see the madness and the calamity that has taken place in the world today, and the Bible did prophesy about that, right? But it did also instruct the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, right, what to do in these times and what to do in these last days, right? What we should do, right? So you'll get many first scripture about Christian.
Book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together.
Right? The Zephaniah say, gather yourselves together. The Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man is supposed to gather himself together. Go ahead.
Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
That's right. And we are supposed to gather together, and we are a nation not desired. Right? When you look at the Black man's history all through the world, the Black man has been dragged in the bottom of society. We have been completely stomped on by all nations, every nation on the face of the earth. Right? And the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man fall under prey of these nations because we did not listen to the laws, the statutes, and commandments of the Most High, right? We did not want to pick up our heritage and our culture, right? We choose to give up our heritage and our culture, right, in search of lustful imaginations of the other nations, right? So we fall where in the bottom of the society. Now we are a nation not desired. When you look around to the Black man today, they always have something negative to say about Black history, right? About Black culture, right? And just about the Black way of life, right? Right? When the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man has his own culture, his own history, right? And the Black leaders has failed, right, to continue on this path. So the masses, right, of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man has become ignorant, right, of the laws, and his culture and what he's supposed to, what is his duty on the face of the earth, right? Continue, Baba Kusha.
Before the decree, verse 2, before the decree break forth.
Go ahead.
Before the day pass.
Right.
As the chaff.
Can. And it says before the day passes as a chaff and before the decree bring forth, right? This decree is the most highest common, right? The most high sending back Christ, right? With the 200 million angels, right? To take back charge of the face of the earth, right? And before the day passes as a chaff. And so when you look up the meaning of chaff in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says, right, the seed covering or other debris separated from the seed or threshing grain, right? And the second definition gives something comparatively worthless, right? When you look at the seed covering, if you know how peanuts does be, right? The skin of our peanuts, you don't even think about that. You just shell it, and that just fly away in the wind, right? There's nothing important. You understand where I'm from? And that is how the day go past, quick as that. You understand where I'm from? That time go past so quick, you wouldn't even have time to prepare for the day of the Lord, right? So some people waiting for the sky to bust and then to look to get themselves just as quick as they shell up peanuts. That is how fast, that is how fast the day of the Lord will come. It will come unexpected. You understand where I'm from? Right? That was the end of that book, Baba Kusha. Go ahead.
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Right? Before the fierce anger the Lord come upon us, right? And the fierce anger the Lord, right, is World War III. And that's where I come from, right? The thermonuclear destruction upon the face of the earth, right? When no one win her time, understand, right? As they say in local Palang that they will get caught with your pants down. Understand? Meaning that they didn't have time to get dressed or to get ready. And that's where I come from, right? It was unprepared, right? And they don't want to be, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man don't want to be caught in that state, right? During these times. And we don't see how a lot of things already changing in society, right? You're seeing food prices starting to go up. Some flour, and right here in Trinidad, flour starting to go up, right? Animal feed starting to go up. You understand, right? And when you look at when animals catch their feed, what has happened? You understand? The meat go up. You understand? Then the general price of what households consuming will be less, right? The price of the food stuff in the household will be more expensive. You understand? So then a household now had to ration themselves, right? And now we're going in survival mode. You understand? When flour go up, that's a basic staple in majority of households. Then they're looking to see trouble. You understand where I come from? Right? So it already getting pretty serious. But on face value, when you look in the media, they're trying to kind of downplay it. But it already starts to get serious already. Right? And the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man need to wake up and need to understand, right, that this is no joke, and this is no time to sleep, and this is no time to be drunk. Understand? Right? And all over the place and all different type of doctrine. Right? This is not even time for debate. You understand? Because the time is at hand, right? And it's coming quick, right? Go ahead, Mr. Swap.
Because normally we see when every don't listen to me, they say twice. He say before the Lord anger come. He say before the Lord's anger come.
That's right.
They're bringing it now. Now all these things coming at once. So you know why the Lord come upon you so quick.
That's right.
They mention.
Yeah.
And the blackest and the Canadian.
That's right.
They are only one.
Can.
Say
yeah.
You never bring this.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice.
It wouldn't be nice.
It multiply or singular.
Can. And we know this so heavy because and we went to our next point because the Christian church like to put the coming of Christ as something calm and nice, you understand, and beautiful, and we have a good time, right? And all the, if you watch all the different Christian doctrines from Roman Catholic to Pentecostal to all the different denominations, they always portraying the day as something calm and beautiful, and the angels will be playing harps and all them nonsense, you understand? But when they actually go into the Bible and they actually read, right, is that they are upon the face of the earth. And understand, this is not going to be a nice thing. And as we start to go along, right, in the class, we will get to realize that the Christian church has been telling us lies. You understand? Right? And this is what coming as something that the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man need to wake up and prepare himself for. And the only place to prepare yourself for that is the I.S.U.P.K under command in GEN.YAHANNA. Right? Here in the I.S.U.P.K, you know, people that watch you as mad. And understand, oh, they go say these things and this and that. But that is because the Christian church was not telling you the truth about the Bible. You understand? Right? The Christian church tried to make the Bible into a fairy tale. You understand? And try to make it all mystical. When a lot of things was easy to understand and plain. Right? And the warnings of the Most High was direct to the children of Israel. Right? But our religious leaders for gain and for money. Understand? And for quick success, right? The Most High gave them their reward now. Understand? That's why Christ said they have their reward. This all them pinstripe jet and things, that's the reward. But they don't understand that a time will come when total destruction will come to them and even to the oppressor or the so-called white man in society. All right. So we will just jump to a quick article and then we will come back to the scriptures, right? Right. This is an article from Luke TT, right, which is a news agency in Trinidad and the Caribbean. And this is what it's saying about this is an article written about Trinidad, right? And it say MIT notes rising food prices, tells public to shop wisely, right? And this article is dated the 1st of March 2022, right? So the article now, people complaining and clamoring, they're not taking the seriousness about it, right? And it says the Ministry of Trade and Industry, right? That's what the MIT stands for, is urging customers to use discretion when exercising their purchasing power, given the rise in food prices across Trinidad and Tobago. The advice comes from the central bank in its economic bulletin for January 2022, noted that food inflation moved from 6.1% in November 2021 to 5.1% in June 2020. Moved to 6.1% in November 2021 from 5.1%. Right, so it moved a whole percent in June 2021, and people will say, well, that's small thing, right? There's only 1%, right? Most categories have recorded price increase. In its release on Tuesday, the MIT recalled that over the last 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted the world's economy, resulting in rising goods and services. In January, the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, Food Price Index revealed that food prices escalated approximately 20%. So the 1% inflation, right, is really 20%, right? And this coming from the global market, right? So while we see it as relatively nothing in Trinidad, on the global scale, it already rise by 20%. So you're paying 20% more on goods that you had, right? And then it's saying, you know, this mainly attributes to the distribution in international supply chains, increased shipping costs, adverse weather conditions, and declines in production is leading economies among the factors. In light of this, the government has approved, right? So the government of Trinidad and Tobago trying to make initiatives to try to combat the prices that the average man is going to face at the market, right? So they put the expansion of the list of basic food items which are free from VAT as of November 21st, right? So they're trying to eliminate the VAT from certain food items. Then they have the suspension of the Common External Tariff, the CET, which is the removal of import duties on basic food items. So they're trying to remove the duties on imported items into Trinidad, right? And we know Trinidad does import a lot of items. Even all the raw materials for flour, we does import sugar and a lot of different basic food commodities, right? They also have the increased allocation of foreign exchange to the Exim Bank. So they're trying to make sure that the bank have enough foreign currency to buy goods on the market. And the strengthening of linkages between industries and agriculture to build sustainable food systems, right? The implementation of a $500 million agricultural stimulus package to boost local and crop production. So it's so bad, and I hope you don't understand that the government had to invest $500 million in agriculture because they realized just now they can't import food from outside. So they're so late in preparation that them now trying to get Trinidad agriculture sector going after so many years, right? And that is like what we were talking about when the scriptures say, "Gather yourself together," right? And before the decree bring forth, you understand? Before you get catch with your pants down, you understand where I come from? They now preparing, you understand? And the danger that already impending because they realize Trinidad could starve. You understand? So they're now willing to invest $500 million in agriculture, right? Then they're going down, then the drop down lower. And this is the advice they're giving consumers, right? They say consumers have the power of choice. Consider shopping around and engaging in comparative pricing to get better value for money. So in other words, they're telling you, we can't raise your pay. So you gotta go around and try to find the best price. You understand where I come from? No, you have to, if you can't buy in Point supermarket, no, you have to go San Fernando. You know how to diligently seek to get better prices. And it's showing you how the economy started to go bad, right? Then they say now, buy and eat local. The MIT encourages consumers to support local brands or local manufactured products, meet international standards, and are suitable alternative for imported products. It is said, additionally, buying local produce in season, fruits and vegetables contributes to the building of a sustainable economy. Furthermore, planning meals around are in season helps the customers to maximize their savings. Right? So now you're planning meals, right? Around food that are in season. Meaning that you can't buy one now. You understand? If mango in season, make sure and plan your food around mango season. If cassava in season, make sure and plan your food among cassava. Go ahead, officer. So why are we shy? Come on. Come on.
All the time, people like this is supposed to be interested.
That's right.
Within, let me say in the Caribbean.
That's right. Yeah.
We know we there's no say here the way apple, here the way grapes and Jamaican mention. We will invest in that for. We're supposed to not plant how much cocoa tree.
That's right.
Pineapple tree.
That's right.
How much watermelon tree.
Yeah, so the government's now getting catch with the pants down. Times becoming hard. Now they're realizing the car depend on other countries as they should, right? Because even with Russia and Ukraine does produce the majority of wheat and barley, right? And wheat is one of the raw products of flour. You understand? So immediately they start to realize now that the car support themselves on their own, and they're now trying to invest in agriculture. You understand? When it's becoming too late, right? Then now they say now, then they're asking the consumers, right? And in the fourth segment that I have, they say, grow your own fruits and vegetables. Consumers are prompted to get involved in home gardening for high yield, low-cost crops such as herbs, tomatoes, lettuce, green peppers, and root crops. Right? It is a common notion that green and healthy options are always more expensive. However, growing and purchasing fresh, locally produced food is healthier and more effective choice when compared to imported items. Right? And before, there was heavily marketing imported items. All the nice things that we just get that imported in Trinidad, that was on the forefront of the shelf. And the locally produced stuff was in the back. You understand? Now, they're realizing that they can't get the imported stuff. Now they want to put the small farmers and all of them on the front shelf. You understand? Because they realize things are going to get hard. Right? And they just have small snippet from the article, but it's showing, right, how the Trinidad economy already started to change. Understand? And one of the first changes we gain is around food. Understand? Immediately they realize impending danger is on the horizon, right? For the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. And that is why you need to have, as you were saying, also righteous leaders, right? Leaders who could foresee these things before it happened. Just like we forefather in Joseph, right? He was able to foresee the famine that would come upon Egypt at that time, right? That time he was the second in command in Egypt, and he was able to make them store food for the times that I was having famine. Now we're looking at a country that has no food and scrambling to prepare for what is about to come. You understand? And that is where the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man need to wake up and need to understand, right? That only the I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA, you will be able to keep your mind active, right? And keep on top of your game, as we just said, right? And not be catch guard. Understand? Right? The Christian church, them continuing to collect tithes and offerings, right? And not really not educating the people on what's going on in society. Everything in the scriptures for them is mystical. Understand? And something surreal. Understand? Right? And not educating the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man about what this is going to happen according to the Bible. You understand? These destructions are the Bible prophesying. These things is the beginning of World War III. Right. You understand? Famine, rumors of wars, all these things are going to happen. Right? And so a lot of people feel that it's just Ukraine and Russia fighting. You understand? That have nothing to do with, yes, it have nothing to do with we, but we have something to do. Why is them fighting? And which is to do what? Gather ourselves together. And that place is under command of GEN.YAHANNA, the I.S.U.P.K. All right? So we go jump back to the scriptures. Matthew chapter 25, and we will start from verse 31, Baba Kusha. So we now see that the times are beginning to become more real, as we say it. Right. You understand? It's more important now than ever to serve the Most High. Come on.
Book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory.
Right, they say the Son of Man is Christ. So when the Most High shall send back Christ upon the face of the earth, all right, go ahead.
And all the holy angels.
And all the angels, go ahead.
With him.
Go ahead.
Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
That's right. Right, he's coming back to take his rightful place on the earth as king. Understand? And ruler over Israel and all the world. Go ahead.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
Right, and I say before him is going to be gathered all nations. I want to say gathered all nations. It don't just mean Grenada and St. Vincent and everybody mixed up together, and Australia, everybody mixed up together. It means all the races on the place of the earth, everybody is going to be gathered together with their own people.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
And he shall separate them one from another.
All right, and they say what? He shall do what?
Separate them one from another.
Right, and every race of people, you're going to separate them one from another. Now you're going to know you're going to understand your true heritage, because every person is going to go back to whatever people you come from. Right? Go ahead.
As a shepherd divided the sheep from the goats.
That's right. As the shepherd divided the sheep from the goats. So just how the shepherd has separated the sheep from the goats, right? And sheep and a goat similar, you understand? But they have differences, right? So the shepherd has come and separate them. The sheep from the goat, go ahead.
And he shall set the sheep on his right hand.
And he will set the sheep on the right hand.
But the goats on his left.
And the goats on the left, right? Continue, Baba Kusha.
And he shall, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come. Ye are blessed of my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world.
Right. So them on the right, he will tell them to come and inherit the kingdom, right? Prepared for you from the foundation of the world, right? And that's one thing we don't understand. People just feel, well, how blacks and Hispanics go rule the world now. You understand? That was prepared for us from the foundation of the world. That was already ordained. And understand is we who never live up to the path to be in rulership, right? But that was already ordained for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, right? And one thing I want we to keep in mind as we're going on, right? They say the sheep is going to be on the right hand. So we keeping that the sheep is going to inherit the kingdom, and the sheep is going to be on the right hand. So we keeping that in mind. Why is it going down, right? And the goats on the left. Go ahead.
For when I was hungry, and you gave me meat, I was thirsty, and you gave me drink.
That's right.
I was a stranger, and he took me in.
Right. So, so the Lord saying, when he was hungry, he gave him meat. When he was thirsty, he gave him drink. And when he was a stranger, he took him in. Right. Continue.
Naked, and he clothed me.
Clothed me. Go ahead.
I was sick, and he visited me. I was in prison, and he came unto me.
Go ahead.
Then shall the rest say, Lord, when shall we see thee and hunger, and fed thee, or thirst, and gave thee drink?
Right. So the righteous will be saying, Lord, well, when we do this to you, because we never see you. And that's where I'm from. Hunger. Right? And drink. Go ahead. Go down to verse 38.
Verse 38. When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee?
What time that happened to we? When we do that, right? Continue.
Or when saw we thee sick, and in prison, and came unto thee? Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
That's right. And that's where I come from. Right? And that is where the I.S.U.P.K under commanding GEN.YAHANNA has always taught us. Right? The things we do to one another, that is how we do it unto Christ. And that's where I come from. The more we learn to live better with one another, we brethren, doing here in the truth, that is how we do it unto Christ. And as and daily love we are to show to the people when we go outside. So that is how them going to know that Christ dwells when the love we show to one another. All right? That is why a man from the outside go watching and say, nah boy, the Lord with them. You understand? Because the things we doing for one another. And in this last days, and when the food prices getting high, understand, and people can't afford to pay the rent anymore, understand, and bombs start to drop, and we have to dwell together. These the brethren, you have to dwell with. And that's where I come from, because everybody else will be rolling away. Hell and skeleton all over the world because they wouldn't know what's going on. Understand? And thank God for commanding GEN.YAHANNA in the I.S.U.P.K. Understand? These the brethren we had to dwell with at the end of the day. And as I come from, these the people, these be the ones who will love one another to the end. You understand? Right? And that is where it will be when it gets serious. Because when it gets real serious, understand, and let me see, we are staying in school, for example. Right? You feel your mother coming, or your father, understand, or your aunt or your uncle. No. Understand? Them looking to protect whoever house they have some way. Understand? Or try to save it. Trying to build a covering to cover your car in case rubble drop on it. Them is studying that. You understand where I'm from? But the ones who believe in Christ, the ones who champion and fighting for the cause of the Most High, them is the ones that will dwell together. Shalom, SHALAM. Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah, man. Right? And them is the ones who will be dwelling together, right? And Christ, right? Understand? That is why in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding GEN.YAHANNA, they always promote what? Brotherhood and sisterhood. Because in the end, just like GEN.YAHANNA teaching in the scripture breakdown class, understand? In the end, right? What will happen to the people in the world? The people in the world will be fighting over what can food. And that's where I come from, right? And them will be scrambling. I.S.U.P.K under commanding GEN.YAHANNA, because we had a brotherhood, we go understand where is sacrificing for one another, loving one another. And that's where I come from, right? And going the extra mile for one another, making sure everybody in the camp is well taken off. You understand where I come from? The end, all we have at the end, right, is we brotherhood and the brothers around us, right? When tough times do come, right? When of the swap.
Not everybody say, and they say,
yeah,
and they bring the Christian church and into Christian.
That's right.
Because now it's nation,
Yeah,
it's a big mention.
That's right.
Everybody now you have clear difference that how we are in the nation. Then
that's right.
so as I say, not saying this
no,
that, but as I say, the wives, all of them, as I say, are people. Yeah, like together and separated them.
That's right, come on.
And as I make it mention now we're going to see, you see now actually who the Lord with. And now this will always show now who the Lord of the Joseph.
That's right.
So in time and famine.
That's right. That's right. And that's a good point to bring out it, because in the time of famine, that is when he brother kick him, because he remember the nation. He remember his people. He know Joseph know that he is not an Egyptian. You understand where I'm coming from? Right? He understood that clearly. Right? Now the Egyptians benefit at that time, because thank God I had them there to as the second in command. Otherwise, Egypt and all would have fallen to famine, because nobody would have seen that famine coming. You understand where I'm coming from? Go ahead.
When you righteous in authority, the whole earth is going to be rejoicing.
That's right. That's right.
So with all that,
that's right. That's right. Come cancel. You understand? So that is how serious that love and that brotherhood is to commune with one another and to keep it going, because that why the I.S.U.P.K always had this motto: brotherhood is a weapon.
That's right.
That will just keep it going. You understand? When the world starting to fall apart, so Esau starting to fall apart, because times get hard, times get tough. So everybody looking to see where they can get for the self. You understand? Selfishness begin to kick in. All right. No, we that was go to the reach. I think that was to 40. Right. Now we go hold up there. All right. So we will jump to Jeremiah 50 and verse 17. All right. And just as I was saying before, when he say he's going to separate the nations, right, and he's going to put the sheep on the right hand, and he's going to tell them to come, right, for the kingdom of heaven is prepared for you, right? Now we're going to see who the sheep is, right? So we're going to know this is how serious it is, and this is the Christian church doesn't tell us when we in the Christian church. That's why the I.S.U.P.K and the command general always say, come out of the Christian church. Right. You understand where I'm coming from, right? And thank God for the generals, we could learn and understand these things, right? So we're going to find out who the sheep is that he put in the right hand, and say that these people on the right will inherit the kingdom, right? So give me Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 17, Babu Kasha.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 17. Israel is a scattered sheep.
What Israel is?
A scattered sheep.
What?
That have driven him away.
All right. They say Israel is a scattered sheep. So now we know the sheep he was talking about in the right hand. He was talking about the nation of Israel.
Right.
So the people that he brought on the right hand is the nation of Israel. They are the ones that's going to inherit the kingdom of the earth.
Right.
All right. And they say the lions have driven him away. So now we're going to understand who these lions are. Go ahead.
First, the king of Assyria had devoured him.
That's right. At that point in time, he was under the Assyrian captivity. All right. Continue.
And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had broken his bones.
That's right. And then he was under the captivity of Nebuchadnezzar. He was the king of Babylon. Right? And it is so ironic that this last empire, you understand, is the daughter of Babylon. You understand where I'm from? That is the white man empire. You understand? And the Lord bringing vengeance upon this empire. Right? Continue to verse 18, Baba Kosha.
And therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel.
The God of who?
Israel.
That's right. The Lord of hosts, right? And this is the God of Israel. right? The man of war, the champion of war, that is the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said he's the God of Israel. He didn't say he's the God of the whole world. He said he's the God of Israel. Go ahead.
I will punish the king of Babylon.
He will do what?
Punish the king of Babylon.
Go ahead.
And his land. As I have punished the king of Assyria.
That's right. And that's where I come from, right? And the same thing is going to happen to America, called Babylon the Great today. Right? He's going to punish the land. Right? That land will come to utter destruction, just as he has punished the kings of Assyria. So the same way he punished the first Babylon, this Babylon is going to get punished the same way.
Right.
All right? We go jump down to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. So now that we understand that this sheep that was inheriting the kingdom is Israel, right? So now we know Israel is going to inherit the kingdom, not the whole world. Israel is going to be in rulership in the kingdom. We go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1, Baba Kusha.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1.
So Lakia, give me 27 and verse 1 first, Baba Kusha. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 27. And Moses with the elders of Israel.
Right, they say what? Moses and the elders of who?
Of Israel.
That's right. So way back in the time of Moses, it was Moses and the elders of Israel. It wasn't the whole world. Right? They didn't see the elders of India, right? Or the elders of Australia, or the elders of Africa. I see the elders of Israel. Right? Go ahead.
Commanding the people, saying, keep all the commandments.
What are we supposed to do?
Keep all the commandments.
That's right. All the commandments are the Most High, right? Is there any more on it?
A little thing like
Go ahead.
Which I commanded you this day.
That's right. When the Lord give you the command, you understand? Right? And when you go to the laws, right? Everything in the laws reflecting what? Brotherhood.
Right.
Understand? Right? They're not going to sleep with your neighbor wife. Right? They're not going to become a homosexual to spread that evil disease among your people. Understand? Right? You're not going to sleep with the other nations to lose your culture. Right? To lose your heritage to go and serve other gods. You understand where I come from? Then you have basic laws how to live with your brother one-on-one. Right? If he ox mash up something in yours, they have basic civil laws that they could work out to get things done. You understand where I come from? Right? Not eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You understand? Basic dietary law. You understand? That will make you be able to survive and to live. You understand? And not kill yourself. You understand? Eating pork is like smoking a cigarette. You're killing yourself. You understand? You don't like yourself. Then you're punishing yourself. You understand? That was the end, right, Sha? Right. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1 now, Baba Kushan. Right? So we know that the elders of Israel commanded the Israelites that we should keep the laws and commandments of the Most High, right? So then you're asking yourself now, what laws and commandments? So we're going on Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1, Baba Kushan.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
All right, so it say it shall come to pass if you should listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, the commandment that he given us. Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
That's right. Right. So the Most High will set us on high. When I say he will set us on high, it will set the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man in rulership in the rightful place where we're supposed to be. Right. That is why I say this kingdom was ordained for us from the big foundations of the earth. We were the ones supposed to be in rulership. When we in rulership, just like the scripture it was paraphrasing, right? Things on the earth will run normal, the way it's supposed to be, right? And when I know no homosexual running about the place, right? And no there's some mob wives and basketball wives and all them kind of bacchanal. Right? Feminism, when not feminism, everybody will know the rightful place. You understand? Right? And with the rise of feminism, now everybody want to be independent woman, right? Men and all turning woman. Right? First it's getting bad. Right? That's how bad society turning, right? And that wouldn't happen. But when they tell them to go and fight war, they don't want to go and fight war, right? Now you're realizing, you understand, that you do all that equal rights. You understand? Right? If equal rights with a man mean if we go in and fight war, everybody go in. That would mean. And it don't mean that again all the nice perks that a man does get. right? And then now, when it comes down for we to go and fight war, understand? And we are going to fight some other country, you stay home. You understand? It means that you're going to put on the same 200-pound backpack we have on the back, right? And with your sword and stay out in the dew whole night for weeks. You understand? Right? And rolling in mud, your cabin. You understand where I come from? Right? Waiting for the enemy, right? No, that the right to fighting for. That is why today media does make us fool women. You understand? Because they're feeling that they're losing something, right? But you already have that protection. The Most High gave women that protection, which is the man. You understand where I come from? Right? Or when somebody pong on the door in the night, she not going to get up. You, the man, has to have to get up to go and see who at the door. You understand? But when you ask for equal rights, well, your husband could just turn around and say, well, go and check the door. You understand? And wherever you meet there, that is the end of you. You understand? So these are the things that doesn't study. You understand where I'm from? But everybody fighting for rights and for. You understand? If so a man want to be a CEO in a company, he don't complain and say, well, because all these men who wearing suits, I can become CEO. You understand where I come from? No, it's something you have to fight for, right? And that type of spirit, right? The Most High gave the man that spirit to battle and to fight in the war. All the wars in the world is man. And understand? All when the country get invaded and yes, women had a role to play, but not on the front line in the battlefield. Right? Word of officer. Yeah. Come on, can. Come on, can. Come on, can. Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2.
Proverbs 29 and verse 2.
Right, yeah.
Come on, can.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
That's right.
But when the wicked bear it rule, the people mourn.
That's right. You understand where I'm from? And that is so heavy that scripture every day, right? Righteous and authority, we will rejoice. You understand? Because things will run the way it's supposed to run. You understand? But when the wicked in rulership, you understand, we go mourn. Just like today, we mourning. Right? The July 14 and 2. Judah mourn it. There's pressure all around. What's food price going up now? Document flour going up. Animal feed going up. Gas going up. You understand? Things become hard. You understand? Look at travel to Port of Spain the other day. Right? $20. Right? To go from Point to San Fernando and 22 to go to San Fernando to Port of Spain. Right? And I pretend like somebody who's slaving, right? Like in the capital city. By the time you go to a slave and come back, you have no money. You understand? That's how bad it is, right? Right? So now you might have to find some way to take the camp out and Port of Spain or somewhere close. You understand? Right? I remember very rare. At the time you used to see people walking. Now people don't care. They understand the walking because you can see the time getting harder. Yeah. And people starting to buy bicycle to pedal to wherever they're going. You understand? Because everybody now realizing that it's becoming harder. Right? But what I do understand is because these times we're moving in here, we're moving into the common of the Lord. And understand? And the Bible prophesied that these things is going to happen. And understand? These are the struggles we need to go through. And the only way you can go through the struggle, right, is through the I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA. This is the catalyst tool that the Most High set on the earth, right, for man to use. And understand? To get through the terrible time that is going to come upon the face of the earth. And understand? And not to say that we're not going to pass. We're going to pass through these terrible times. But what is going to be able to navigate through it is because we have righteous leaders. We wouldn't be just like headless chicken running all over the place. All right. From Deuteronomy 28 and 1, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 7, Baba Kusha.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 7. The Most High shall cause thy enemies.
He shall do what?
The Most High shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
So this is when you're keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. When you're keeping the laws, he say he will cause the enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before your face. But hear the thing, right? Even in the good times, that's what we doesn't expect, right? Enemies will rise up. But one thing he guarantee what? They will be smitten. right? You will be spitting, right? Before your face. Go ahead.
Ye shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
And that is why we must keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Things will come again. He didn't say nothing will come. And understand? He didn't say enemies will just get burned up and die at the end of it. And understand? Things will come. But that protection, right, and being in right standing with the Most High, that is what will protect you from your enemies, right? From all the atrocities that are going on in the world. Right? So in the ISU under command, yes, people will come against the I.S.U.P.K under command in GEN.YAHANNA. Understand? But that protection of the Most High is what is going to do what? It's going to make our leaders make righteous decisions. Right. Understand? Thus guiding the nation through all the calamities that are happening on the face of the earth. Right? Continue, Baba Kusha. Salakia, jump to verse 10, Baba Kusha.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Most High.
That's right. And all the people of the earth will understand that the power is called by the name of the Most High. People will be telling them all the time on the street, then they will recall and they was actually telling me the right thing. You understand where I'm from? Right? And they wasn't just talking nonsense. You understand? And I didn't listen because I was listening to my archbishop. You understand? Who ain't know nothing. You understand? Right? Or my Christian pastor who's studying next Sunday to collect tithes. Right? And what conference he gonna fly to, right? So that he could go and preach, right? So that people will go pass a cash on collection bucket. That's what is going on. You understand? I can recall in the early days, the Christian church, even right in Point 14 here, right? Pastors start to go to one another church, understand? In order so the congregation go collect they will collect an offering, so they're collecting an offering for the church, and then they're collecting an offering for the visiting pastor. And then this pastor now will go to the next one church and they will do the same thing. So in other words, now you're ripping off the people now because now you're passing 2 collection buckets. You understand where I'm from? Right? Some churches now, one good example is Universal. Them have about 8 services for the day. You understand? And in all the service, you're collecting tithes. So you collect tithes 8 times for the day. You understand? Right? That's what ridiculous again. Right? Go ahead, Osasha.
And so like I say, if you have cash, that the machine so I can swipe your card now.
That's right. The point, yeah, they're bringing in the ATMs now. Swipe your card. You understand? So that's how serious again. You understand? And again, real ridiculous. Right? And if you don't know righteously, they have to guide you through this. It's chaos and confusion. What up, Sasha?
And one more thing too. Having police protection and all too. For police and all too now.
Yeah, because they could afford it. Understand? Because a lot of these become so wealthy and in so much corruption that they're afraid to walk the street. You understand? You feel Pastor Coffee want to come out on the street, right, and walk for that Spain, right? Or Archbishop going on one of them because they're afraid somebody rip out the heart on the street. You understand? Because a lot of people know that is ridiculousness going on in these churches. You understand? But they just can't reach you. You understand? Right? But the day that they decide to come out on the street and walk, that they know they're going to be ripped apart. You understand where I'm from? So let me want to part in that. Them people to pass in a Rolls Royce, you understand, and fly. They even fly in coach. They're making sure and pay for that private jet. You understand? Or at least first class because they don't want to do it. I remember a pastor saying, that was a pastor from the United States of America. He said he don't want to sit down among the people in court because that was a demon. You understand where I'm from? So how these people are distinct. You understand? And the Most High know the wickedness in the heart, and that is why He's going to punish them. You understand? He say he will punish the devil and his angels. So America and all those who help America going down with that Christian philosophy and doctrine going down. You understand? And burn in thermonuclear fire. Right? You can make Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15, Baba Kusha.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments
Mhm.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
Mhm.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, and the Most High say, if the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, if Israel didn't listen to these curses, they didn't listen to curses come upon us, right? These punishments will come upon us. So that is why we see the black man today all over suffering. It's all kind of, it doesn't have a category that the black man in find himself in. If it's HIV, diabetes, gout, sugar, cancer, we update, we numbers high. You understand where I'm coming from? Obesity, right? Everything is just high. You understand? For the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, and that because we choose not to live within the laws of the Most High. Right? So all these these illnesses and sicknesses and punishments will come upon you because now we have no protection. You're living by guess. That is basically what happened to you, right? Jump down to verse 46, Baba Kusha.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall be upon thee
Mm-hmm.
for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
All right. So now that we understand that when the Most High was speaking about sheep, and it referred to Israel being the sheep, it's saying now the curses will be upon these people, right, as a sign, and that is how you're finding the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man falling in that category,
Right.
because we have a big sign on our head saying weed, you understand, right, and the ghetto, you understand, and for the Hispanics is the barrios. And that's where I come from. That is what it is. And for the Native Indians, is the reservations. Right? We have big signs on the head. Right? So that's why they're able to locate these people, right, in society today. Right? And as we go along and try to read the other curses, the more curses we read, we're going to find out that it only triggering one people. Right? And that is the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. And that is how we understand that the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man today is the Israelites of the Bible. Right? So we will come back here, but we given Revelation chapter 3 and 9, Baba Kusha.
Okay. Book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Right? So they come at them. And this them dwelling in the synagogue of Satan. Go ahead.
Which say they are Jews and are not.
So the them saying them is Jews. Them saying that they are the children of the Most High. Right? And the scripture says, read over that part again, Baba Kusha.
Okay. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
And these people that saying they're Jews, they are not. Right? And them who sitting in the synagogue of Satan, go ahead.
Okay. But do lie.
But what do they do?
But do lie.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Right? So you will make them to come and worship before the feet of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, and to make them know that it is the Lord first who loves us. Right? And these people that calling themselves Jews in Israel today, in the land of Israel today, they are of the synagogue of Satan.
Right.
That is the Bible telling you that they're from the synagogue of Satan. Go ahead,
yeah, so like this, this also just to go straight out that God will love everybody.
That's right.
Because if you love everybody,
that's right.
These people here wouldn't be coming and
somehow them follow the category. Right? If the Lord they love everybody, something going wrong there. Understand? So it making them know that the Most High has his chosen people on the face of the earth.
Right.
And it has some that the wrath is going to come upon them. All right? Give me Revelation 2 and 9, Baba Kusha.
Okay. The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
Right? You know the works and the tribulation of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. We poor, we in the ghetto, we working, what, it's not 9 to 5 again. Is what? 18 hours we working now? And that's where I come from? Right? That is the kind of weird hours we working.
Come on.
uncommon hours. You understand? Somehow we had to invent jobs. You understand? In order to get paid. See, you can't work in a conventional job again. You have to make a job. Go ahead. That's right. Yeah, you have to make your own straw. Right? I tell you have to make your own slave. That's what's going on today. You understand where I'm coming from? Right? Go ahead, Officer Eckhart.
And know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
That's right. And them that saying they're Jews, right? These fake Israelites in Israel today, the Lord said that's a blasphemy. Go ahead.
And are not.
And they are not. It's a blasphemy because they're not telling the truth. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible didn't say, right, that these white Khazarians from the Khazarian Empire, right? These white Edomites, they are not the Jews, right? They're telling a lie against the scriptures. Go ahead.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Right? But these people who sitting down in Israel today, they are of the synagogue of Satan, right? And that is, it can't get worse than that. That's not going wrong, right? You're in the synagogue of Satan. It's bad. You understand? Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, even I said, the more you read, the more plain it is. You know, just that the mere fact that, you know, John gets into revelation that there are some people who are pretending to be the Jews.
That's right.
So which means being a Jew is extremely important.
That's right.
You understand?
It means it has some merit.
That's it. And there's a separation between being a Jew and everybody else.
Come on. All right. That was the end of that, Baba Kusha. All right, we'll jump back to Deuteronomy 28. And I will tell you where to start. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 42, Baba Kusha. All right, and now as we enter into World War III, right, and we're starting to see wars and rumors of wars and famine and all these things happening, right? Now it's time now is the time that we should really strive to serve the Most High, right? Go ahead. So verse 40, read verse 42, Baba Kusha, 28 and 42.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 42. All thy trees and fruits shall the locust consume.
That's right. And understand? When we fall under the punishment of the Most High, all the trees and all the trees and the fruits and the land shall the locust consume. Right? And that's what the Lord does too. All the businesses go dry up. You understand? All the credit union fund we had stored up go dry up. You understand where I come from? Right? We might be looking for physical locusts, but a spiritual one will eat up all we have. The Lord has his way. You understand? I'm bringing punishment on the face of the earth. You understand? Go ahead.
So like I said, if I may call it bills.
That's right. You understand? T&Tech and WhatsApp, right? And Amplifier. That will come in. Right? Go ahead.
We show you know locally, and the Lord come back again and you see, if the Lord come with you, you can plant how much you want.
Don't matter.
You can farm how much you want.
It didn't come in.
Do how much you want. It's showing you. It's showing you. If the Lord not with you,
nothing gonna happen. I will bring out that heavy point too, because one of the everything had to depend on the Most High for it. But one of the most important that is sure, you can't fool yourself that they had to depend on the Most High for its farming.
Yeah.
Because when you plant that seed, it's not guaranteed going to grow.
That's right.
You understand? It has ants, locusts, right? Worm that eaten that born whole to the seed, bird coming down and pick up the seed from the ground after you plant it. So it's only the Most High at the beauty.
Sun itself.
You understand? Right? Sometimes the sun is shining, sometimes more rain falling than sun. Right? Right? Sometimes the land flood out. We are constantly seeing what happened to them Elam in Caroni. You understand? Go ahead, Officer Shah. Right? And that's truth. Because sometimes you reach the harvest, and that's when somebody else come and clean you out. You understand where I come from? Right? Right? So the Lord really had to be with you. Right? We know the Lord had to be in everything, but when it comes to farming and agriculture and these kind of things, just as the general said, Lord be with you. You understand? Because it's only the protection that the Most High can make you really yield. You understand? After planting crops. And these the punishment we just bring yourself under when we not following the laws of the Most High. You open up yourself to anything. You understand? And it's pressure. Right? These things of the Lord. Because He already instruct you what to do. Alright? Jump back, give me verse 47.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 47. Because thou servest not the Most High thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Verse 48.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
That's right. No, we will still be enemies. You understand? Because we wasn't thankful at the thing the Lord set up us. Right? We wasn't thankful that we called here. Right? We weren't thankful at the laws and statutes that the Most High set up us, the constitution that He gave us. We wasn't happy about that. You understand? We find it too strict. You understand? We refine. Understand that we wanted to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You understand? We wanted to be harlots and independent women. You understand where I come from? Right? These are the things we wanted because we see the other nations doing that. Right? And because that, the Lord make it to serve the enemies. The same people, and understand who we wanted to follow, He said, go ahead and follow them. And in following them, what to do? The stamp we underneath the feet. You understand where I come from? The America was saying every man on the earth must have rights and live in equality. What America do all the nations of the earth? America invade, and this on record, right? America invade 80 out of the 193 countries in the world. 80, right? And out of the 193, 191 that have government and military influence in. That's the whole world. You understand where I come from? Right? And them was just saying that but we come to bring equality. Understand? And democracy and a fair system of governance. Understand? And they totally do what? Push you underneath the foot and crush you.
So like
right? Go ahead.
Even something that even developing now in relation to the US is that the US dollar was pegged on a barrel of oil.
Right.
So you cannot buy nothing or sell nothing
with other currency.
US dollar.
That's right. That's right.
And now even with the war in Ukraine and how things changing, you see now with other countries trying to let go.
Yeah.
And want to do the same thing that they destroyed other nations for.
That's right.
Like Iran and we get a few was
Libya.
Because they were going to change the from the US currency to the gold standard.
That's right.
Or another currency so that they will have leverage. But now we see in Saudi Arabia, who is quote unquote one of the partners, realize now this guy will come.
Yeah, everybody's trying to notice the empire.
That's right.
That's
so
right.
See now if they're gonna invade Saudi Arabia now, because if that started happening, there's a trend where other people would follow and they would lose money, they would lose leverage.
That's right.
And that was to show the influence that they have across the world. No country could buy oil without buying the US dollar.
That's right. That's right. Right? And that to show the place America sits, right? And that was the scripture call America the great harlot. Right? Babylon the Great, right? And all the nations drinking out of that wine cup because everybody was benefiting.
That's right.
Of America prosperity, right? And the Lord is coming to shut down that whole operation, right? That whole operation coming to an end, right? But the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man know how to get ourselves right. You understand? Right? Start to live righteously. If you want to come back and rulership, it's about way. Right? That is, you should live and conduct yourself on the face of the earth, right? That was the end of verse 48, Barakasha. Go ahead.
And as therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who send them enemies?
Lord shall send against thee.
That's right. The Lord send the so-called white man against us. He will send the Arab ships.
Right.
And all them to come pick you up because we as we just say local palang hardened. We didn't want to listen. You understand? So he has to put we in servitude. Right? So that we will become so mad, right? That we would want to serve the Most High in spirit and in truth, as they say, in righteousness. Right? Well,
In hunger
mm-hmm.
and in thirst.
That's how we go serve them in hunger and in thirst, well.
And in nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
And in want of all things.
And everything the black man had to go for is from all the other nations. You understand? From the cloth, car, any raw material is the so-called other nations. Even right here in Trinidad today, you understand? Everything that coming to the port, the other nations controlling the whole port in Trinidad. So anything passing through there, it's them first, and then we gain it on the retail end, right? With a so-called calling wholesale, but I know wholesale. The black man getting retail right down the line. We ain't still wholesale yet, right? Look down, the government saying that they want to switch to electric cars. Who you think gonna get the contract to bring in the black man? No. And that's where I come from, right? Is all the Arabs and Syrians and all of them going to profit off of that, right? And then now, and then the black man getting the shaft at the end of the stick, right? Because by the time the price of the car reach, you have to stay with the gas car, and then they raise the price of gas, so you just getting shaft, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, and so it's so diabolical, right? Even the other nations, you understand, when these same people come, they themselves getting it at a better rate because they have taxes to evade.
That's right.
They have discount cards, they have all kind of insurances.
That's right. And the government
tax exemptions.
Going to put tax exemptions on the port, right? So when these cars come in, them getting an exemption to bring in the car and then selling you at a high price. You understand? And when you go to the car do nothing, right? And when they try to bring in your own car, okay, you see, well, right, it might be a Israelite who having some money and say, they want to bring your own car, the taxes drop on it. You understand where I come from? Right? When the car reach the port, and then when they open the container, now your car like a foil thing. It went up, right? Right? And then you're talking about insurance and all these different kind of things, right? And if that's happening for a car, what about other products? You understand where I come from? Right? And the guy who own national farmers and the Roman, he go feel the shaft. Yeah. You understand? Because when he wheat and all these things that go up, it has no exemption for it. It just about a couple months back, about 2 or 3 months back, he coming on the TV begging for exemption. You understand? For them to put give a tax exemption on the raw material to make flour. That doesn't happen yet. You understand? And prices are about to go up again. Right? Okay. Yeah. Well,
if he was of another nation, he wouldn't even have to ask.
No. You understand? After he come on TV and he begging, he on national television, that begging. You understand where I'm from? Because if you're getting a tax exemption, you just go to the government and see, well, my exemption, and the government go approve it. But for you to come on national TV, meaning it, you're trying to put public pressure on the government to give you a tax exemption. So that begging. You understand where I'm from? And that is where the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man had to go. And he is the head and national flour mills in Trinidad and Tobago. He's the head. You understand? But that is why the I.S.U.P.K always say, even though you have wealth, right, and it might be controlling certain organizations, as a black man, you're still going to feel the shaft. You understand? You're still going to end up under oppression, right? So don't feel like you have $2 million in the bank, feel escape, right? I remember GEN.YAHANNA say one thing. He say money is a defense, right? But in the day of calamity, your money can help you. You understand, right? And the example he draw, and I will use the same example he put, was the World Trade Center, right? When the planes fly into the World Trade Center, no money, no amount of money I had could have made you come off the 110th floor. None. You understand? You couldn't call no helicopter, no private jet, nothing to help you come off that 110th floor. You will die and everybody else. Right? It don't matter how much money you had in the bank. Right? And that is how serious it is with the Most High. Right? That was the end of that verse, Baba Kusha.
Yes,
go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Until we destroy. You understand where I'm from? Because now we don't even know we Israelites. Now we don't know we history, we don't know we culture, nothing. And thank God for Command Gen.YAHANNA, we could have a place that we could come back and learn.
Right.
And we gotta learn from scratch. We gotta empty out all that old wine. Understand? Right? And come and learn anew and become a new man. Right? And thank God for the I.S.U.P.K of the Command Gen.YAHANNA. Right? We just jumped to verse 68, Babakusha. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
That's right. And the only people to be brought into Egypt again with ships, right? And it's on record for everybody to see the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. Right? Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt see it no more again.
Right? And we shall see no more we homeland again. Right? The Black, it gets so bad, some of we don't even know we homeland. Understand? So it's terrible. Right? We never see we homeland again. Go ahead.
And
Mm-hmm.
and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies,
Mm-hmm.
for bondmen and bondwoman,
Mm-hmm.
and no man shall buy you.
Right? And we were sold unto our enemies, we were sold unto the Christians and the by the Africans, right? The Arabs supply all the ship, right? And we were shipped off to and sold to the Grecians in slavery, which is the so-called white man today, right? And nobody could have delivered away from that captivity, right? And I'm going to play something here, right? And a lot of people say, oh, we're Africans, right? And they like to there's long queen, because when they hear him talk, you will hear him talk about our brothers and sisters, but he didn't mean that. Right? And this was back in 2018, right? One of them African leaders apologizing for, right? And they just say that the Africans never sold me into slavery, and a man apologizing for selling me into slavery because their history reflecting what happened during that time. You understand? It's still on their records, right? So when they go in their records, they could actually see that Africans really pick us up and sell us into slavery, right? So that is permanently on record now. They release their records, right? So we go, let's listen to this short clip, and then you'll give me Joel 3 and 3 Babakusha.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and the diaspora.
It roll away too far, right? This is one of them African tribe leaders, right? Apologizing for on behalf of Africa and some of the countries on the African Gold Coast, right? For their role in slavery, right? And well, of course, many of these people that come from the Caribbean thinking they're Africans, so they're thinking that they're getting an apology, right? And thinking that them is Africans. But as it go along, we go understand why the generals and them, right? Thank the Lord that they stood stiff, right? And preserve this history that is written in the Bible, right? Because in the scripture we're going to read, we go understand that thousands of years ago that prophesied, and it really happened, right?
And the people from all over Africa, our brothers and sisters from all over Africa. I wish at this point particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago.
And if I can stop with this, so you see the records reflected accurately, 400 years, right? But this is their records, right? So it's showing you that the Bible is on point, right? And reflecting that the records are written accurately. But what makes the Bible amazing is that this was a prophecy, right? Somebody didn't come after and write it. The Lord prophesied to be 400 years, and it's written on their record as 400 years, right?
my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances.
Right? And he said millions of your brothers and sisters. Right? So they try to lump everybody as if all always one. But what they didn't understand is that Africans picked up Israelites and sold them. We wasn't brothers and sisters. Right?
Through Elmina Castle, across to the Caribbeans and to the New World. On behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, I do render unqualified apology, deep from the bottom of our hearts. Deep from our bottom of our hearts. But one thing that I want you to be aware of, it was not without resistance.
Right. So he's saying now so he defends is that the pork resistance against the white man to try to not to sell me. That is the promise he's trying to bring across, right?
Some of our chiefs did fought and resisted. Some of our people did fought and resisted. But we are fighting a losing fighting against a stronger army. People with guns, we had no guns.
Word of fire.
So that person, and that is showing the witchcraft
with liquor.
That these heathen, you understand, try to. Now he apologizing, but he not apologizing at the same time and taking out himself.
That's right.
And then he tried to still make himself the victim, or his people the victim still. So he's saying his chiefs sold his so-called brothers and sisters. Now, if they were really your brothers and sisters, you wouldn't sell your family.
That's right.
So that's one. The second thing is that what he tried to lump into, and I'm just saying this, after they had quote unquote sold us. You understand? And the same white man want more. What do you think he do? The white man started to come and take quote unquote them. So they will resist. You understand? To defend themselves, not us.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, it's and we're bringing up is a heavy point, right? And you go along a little further.
Yeah. And all other temptations.
Right? Let me wheel back this party, right? This little party.
We had no guns.
Right? He said they didn't have guns.
They deceived us.
So they couldn't fight back the white man, right? And listen to this party. They deceived them with
and
this is what the white man deceived them with.
People with guns, we had no guns. They deceived us with liquor and all other temptations.
Right. So he said the white man deceived them, right, with liquor, right, and with all other temptations, right? So we'll go along a little further and then we go read the scripture, right?
Whatever the circumstances that led us to us, we stand here to render apology. And it's my wish and prayer that this apology is accepted. It's accepted deep by our brothers and sisters from the diaspora.
Right. And you open prayers that the apology accepted, but that wasn't an apology, right? As Officer Yakad was rightfully bringing up. Right. You understand where I'm coming from? Because they already made an escape route at the same time, trying not to get blamed, right? Now, this was in 2018, right? And it had recorded it on YouTube for anybody to go and continue to see the rest, right? And you will see how Christianity totally, the white man, totally muffled our African society with Christianity, right? But anyway, the point is, what I really wanted to pull out from the video also, right? Is he said that the white man deceived them with liquor and with all other temptations, right? So you give me the Joel chapter 3 and verse 3, Baba Kushan.
the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people.
Right? Hold on there, right? Just let me catch up with you about the shot. Right. Go ahead. Come.
And they have cast lots for my people.
That's right. So they sold the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man on auction blocks. Right? Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
All other temptations. Right? That's what he's saying. It's on their record. He's telling you what for his record. Right. This is what the Bible prophesied. Right? The all other temptations, a boy was sold for what?
For an harlot.
He was sold for a harlot. They use him like a hoe, a prostitute. Right? Right? And all grievous manner of work that he had to do, they use him. Down to the last. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
And sold the girl for what?
For wine.
Where the white man tempt them with? Liquor and all other temptation. This is written on their records.
Right.
Understand? So the Bible is on point, 100% accurate. Understand? The black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man is the true Israelites of the Bible.
Right.
Understand? We are the ones who are the chosen people of the Most High. Right? Baba Kushan, if you give me the Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, Baba Kushan. Understand? Right. We are the ones. Understand? It's written on their record. 400 years of slavery. You understand? Right? And he's telling you what the white man used to bargain for we. You understand? So it's real. Go ahead now. Officer Makakwa.
Yes, so like you can see that when you're watching the video about the children, they know the healing and them. Even as he apologize, and still very deceptive. Because the apology he making is for what they did 400 years ago, right? And that is really kind of implanted in the minds of the people. That is something that we did do, not making us understand that that is something continually happening to the so-called Blackmans. Right? Even till this day, right? They're still oppressing people in every which way and looking at all the healing. So this is not something of the past.
Yes.
This is something that's happening even till now or until we get the kingdom back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Officer. So up here.
You know, like how you know we mentioned, you know how the scriptures are on point. And again, you know, not say again, again, you know, thank the Most High and Christ, because we this, as I say, everything is on point.
On point.
Like we bring out in Matthew 28, just now, where Christ make mention, He's going to gather all nations. All nations. So he's showing you now, hey, we are due to my people. As I say, you can come and you can bring some sort of apology. But here what I go do, as they say, I go put the sheep, am I right?
That's right.
And I go put the goats on the left.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah. That's one thing.
Come on. Understand? Where was
one more point. You know, even as reading Joel 3, the Joel 3 that you just read, exactly on point, as Prophet said, and he puts it out of his own mouth, it confirms it. And even when you jump down right down to verse 6, right, it says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have he sold unto the Grecians.
That's right, the white man.
And that is right there in the Bible. As they prophesied how much 100 years ago. And he's confessing for himself that his people sold us. What he's saying is so-called brothers and sisters, which is not true. To the white man for liquor and for horse. And they call brothers and sisters horse. To the white man. And this was as plain as it could be. Understand? And the so-called Christian pastor will never see this because why? You understand? They don't believe anybody. Period. That was it.
Right? So Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, Bawakasha.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power.
That's right. That with the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man is we are holy people unto the Lord. Right? Go ahead.
The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people.
Where we supposed to be?
A special people.
The black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man today is a special people. Go ahead.
unto himself above all people that are on the face of the earth.
And we are above all people on the face of the earth, right? We, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man today, right? We are the ones supposed to be in rulership. We are the ones to inherit the kingdom of the Most High, right? But we have a duty to the Most High to come back and dwell in righteousness, right? And be upright and in right standing with the Most High, having right morals, right? And a proper conscience towards the Most High, all right? And we will close up with Romans chapter 15 and verse 4, Baba Kusha.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
The things written aforetime was written for what?
Our learning.
Was written for we learning. Right? The Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, the things written in the scriptures inspired by men of God, was written for the learning of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. This is not a religious book. You understand? This is not a book where you jump up and sing. Right? This is not a book full of mysteries, as they say. This is a historical book. This is the history of the Black, Hispanic sees that what is to befall us in here. Right? That was the name, Baba Kusha. Go ahead.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
That's right. And that is how we are. This is how we are patient and comfort. Because we understand that these prophecies clear as day and very accurate. So if I could pinpoint all these things that happened to us, right, during all these thousands of years, this is how we know that the coming of Christ is real.
Right.
This is how we know it's serious. You understand? This is how we know that time is upon us. And as we watch and we watch the seasons change and we watch these different conditions in the world begin to change, now we're going to understand. Yeah, everything they yeah. And now we're going to understand, right, that the Most High, understand, could send back Yahushua anytime. Anytime he wants.
Right.
Understand? So the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man need to put himself in order. Understand? Right? And let we start to think the right way, do the right things. Right? And operate the way that the Lord wants us to operate. Right? And conduct ourselves as priests and kings of the Most High.
Right.
And men who are heading for our kingdom and rulership. Right? And with that, we will pass the class over to priests and Officer Shah. Yeah. Slack. What's that card? Slack. Just adjust the thing. For what? Good? Yeah.
Security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 123 Harlem, New York, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. New brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are here to be saluted. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest of a peculiar person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister. There's another 6 months with the brother or sister will support each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew from Shemishah. 10% of every penny and increase the Most High will give to a treasury department or teach a priest fund, fuel offering for priests, non-mandatory, whatever amount you like to give, a common holy convocation. That will be the Passover, the 14th day of the first month. That will be Friday, April the 15th, 2022. You can find this in Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 to 51, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 4 to 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7 to 8, and 2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 17. Reminder after that I got them to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he just start wearing all black, which includes black boots, light shirt, light pants, like headband to scarf. That we say match up. So I pan rock to down. When I say Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Abashamaya, Kadash, Ayah, Shamka, Hawa, Zaka, Aisha, Arataza, Ayah, Shamaya,
What you said in English was, "Oh Father, God in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it."
Blessings in Hebrew. Barak,
Atah, Yahweh, What he said in English was, "Bless Yahweh, and Yahweh, and Micah, and the angel, Commander GEN.YAHANNA, General, Captain, officers, troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Yahweh,
Bashar, Yahushai, Tananawa, Akat, Kamakala, Kalmanwo, Akat, Zari, Mateo, Irakawat, Maala, Agarashim, Bashar, Yahushai, Aman. What he said in English,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power. The power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it. This is the I.S.U.P.K curses. Bless you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth, and all things living, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh. This to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches, enter into thy sanctuary, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nation, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, planned pyramid, all the government or enemies, Amalex in the government army, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Cox Clan, Aryan Nation, Skinheads, Sukumatari, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airways, the cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your word, glorify good. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro, to the earth, and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief, and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers, and punish all the leaders that come against us, as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, through the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Bless Israel, Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai, Barak, Why Shalom, Barak, A gun.
Command General
Command General
General.
General.
Captain.
Captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children,
brothers and sisters fighting from in
brothers and sisters fighting from in
truth.
truth,
Sisters in truth.
brothers and sisters in truth,
Destroyer of Israel.
destroyer of Israel,
I.S.U.P.K worldwide and their family.
I.S.U.P.K worldwide and their families,
I.S.U.P.K Trinity Big on their
I.S.U.P.K Trinity Big on their families.
I.T.S.H.A.
Tamar.
Commander General Yohanna.
Commander General,
Generals.
General,
Captains.
Captains,
Officers.
officers,
Troopers. Sisters. Children. Destroyer of Israel.
Destroyer of Israel.
I.S.U.P.K Trinity Big.
I.S.U.P.K Trinity Big.
Matazah. Adaf. Naimaya. Philip family. Ron family. Alexis family. Koto family.
Commander General,
Generals.
Generals, Captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, all the destroyer of Israel, all those fighting come to the truth,
Brothers and sisters in I.S.U.P.K.
brothers and sisters in I.S.U.P.K.
Brothers and sisters fighting coming to
brothers and sisters fighting come to
Children,
the
babies in I.S.U.P.K.
children and babies in I.S.U.P.K.
Franco family,
Ron family,
Zion,
Wesleyan, Daniela, Jamelia, Ashia,
Makwaya family,
Sagalawan family, Tazo family, Marriott family,
Makato Bal
family,
Basham,
Yahushai,
Tawara
Tawara Aman. What we said in the English was, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
Sir, let's get a teacher one quickly salute to Martin Jabba. Martin, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yoshai Patah.
How about Yahushai Patam?
Kalimata, sir. Let's get sisters online. I want to quickly salute Martin Jabba. Martin, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.